Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for the Raw after Mania 41. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Sherry, I'm leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on the Raw after Mania, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So yeah, the mysterious locations continue. We were on my patio for episode 1, and for those of you who don't know, my apartment flooded, and there are the big fans they have in there right now, to dry everything up and, to get the smell out of the way. And it's just very loud in there and hot. They got the humidifier machine in there now to get the mold or whatever wetness out of the walls. So it is just very loud. It is not a great time at my place. So now I am at my dad's in my old bedroom. So this is where the location is, and it might be the location for the next couple of videos, maybe. Definitely for my Andor reviews. If you're into that, make sure you subscribe to that. But yeah, this is a hell of a way for the 1-year anniversary of covering wrestling on this channel. Well, not 1-year anniversary, because that was during Mania 40. It was the Raw after Mania 40 was the first episode, and now here we are for a Raw after Mania 41. So it's pretty cool here, and I will say, the Raw after Mania has become this show where we just expect nothing but greatness, even though the last few have been kind of on the downer side, especially the Raw after Mania 38. And I'm saying that as someone who was there. I was very, very bummed out after that one. And then 39, a lot of people were like, that was awful. And then 40 was a little bit back to form. And now we're back to now with this one. And I feel like this is what we come to expect. We expect debuts, we expect a lot of swerves, we expect a lot of angles. It just feels a real freshness to Raw that we haven't had in a very long time, in hell, and within WWE in general. Kicking off with John Cena, he does his shtick that he's been doing. He runs down the fans about how much he hates us. I really like how he brought up the dates and how he was knocking them down and showing like, yep, now we're down to, 27? I want to say 27 dates left on this tour, and he's just saying, look, all I have to do is run out the clock. You say you say I can't wrestle? Guess what? I don't have to wrestle. I really like that bit. Randy Orton coming out to set up with the RKO. Really love how when John Cena turned around, he had the mic in his hand, and when he realized what was going to go on, he said, shit. That was really, really funny to me. Really, really enjoyed that spot quite a bit. I also really liked that we really showcased a lot of the titles. Even though not some of the directions are clear, like Jey Uso, where he legit just came out, yeet a couple times. Sami Zayn came out to say, hey, I'm proud of you. Jimmy came out to say he's proud of him. Well, I was just like, this feels too happy. Like, where's the conflict? Where are we going with this? And then nothing happened, and we'll see what's going on. But when we get to the end of this episode of Raw, which we'll talk about in a little bit, where it really does seem like Triple H is going back to what worked in 2022 and 2023, which is get a lot of groups, get your friends there, who you're going to be with for the most of the time. And then, then we can set up, faction warfare, if you will, because a lot of groups are starting to form quite a bit. But yeah, also the women's tag team title match. Once I saw that graphic, I was like, good. Liv and Raquel are about to get them back, and Becky is going to turn heel. Because I said this on my WrestleMania review. I was like, I'm pretty sure Becky's the one who attacked Bayley. And I think she'll get involved within this. We'll probably get some Lyra versus Becky matches for the IC title. That's finally going to get a good feud that we can really sink our teeth into. Let's get that over to the United States title. I know we have Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green, but that's not necessarily it. We need to get someone who is probably more established with the Chelsea Greens, just so we can sink our teeth more into it. I assume we'll get into that Friday. But yeah, we have that. Bayley's going to get back involved. Maybe we'll get some triple threat matches. I just liked how, hey, we're now showcasing the women's IC title, and then we move over here, and then Liv and Raquel have the tag titles back, and now we can dig our teeth into that too. Dominic defending the IC title on this one, again being showcased against Penta. JD McDonough coming back, and now the Judgment Day seems to be strong as ever. I will say, this was one of the things that kind of irked me. I'm just kind of sick of the Judgment Day break up this week angle. Let's just break them up. Let's just be done with it. Let's have JD and Finn go one way, Carlito and Dom go the other way, or hell, all 4 of them go a different way, or just Finn leave. Just make a choice and do it already. I'm just sick of the whole will they, won't they type thing, because they won't. They're going to break up. Let's just break them up and let's just be done with it. So that was one of the things I didn't fully like about it, but I am happy to see JD McDonough back, that he did make a full recovery. That was pretty cool to see. What else happened on this? Rusev came back. I wasn't the hugest fan of how he came back, attacking Alpha Academy. I was worried he was going to attack the New Day too, which I was like, no, don't bury the World Tag Team Champions, which they didn't. They got out of the way. Again, I'm glad the World Tag Team titles will be showcased on this. And then, of course, Io Sky coming out. We got Stephanie Bakir, and this is what I'm talking about, faction warfare. Roxanne Perez comes out, then Julia comes out. You gotta assume they're gonna be a tag team. Maybe Julia's like the muscle, where Roxanne can go after the IC title, maybe the United States title, and they could build that mid card, and that could be through a through line as well, where we could just continue to add depth to the mid card. And again, with this faction warfare, where you have friends and all that, it makes a lot more encouraging storylines. Now, I hope we don't do what we did last time when we had all these factions, where we go, now let's tease every single breakup, because then it gets kind of a little redundant. Let's keep some of them strong, and let's keep some of them, maybe a couple of them are on the ropes, or maybe some of them are just, there. But, I don't mind having all these new groups and all these new alliances, all these new friendships. Let's just not do the same thing with every single group that we did towards the end of 2023 and heading into 2024. But overall, I did like the angle, what we did. Vakira versus Io Sky was a fun match up until the DQ. I kind of knew that was going to be DQ. Me and my friend that we were texting during Raw said, okay, now who DQs during this? We were making our picks, Roxanne, Julia. We were both kind of right. I said Julia, he said Roxanne. I guess he was more right because Roxanne did it. But it's just one of those things, right? But overall, really like seeing that. But the main event angle was Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman coming out, CM Punk coming out, Roman Reigns coming out, which I was really not expecting whatsoever. So you have to assume he's working Backlash at this point, because usually he just disappears after WrestleMania. Braun Breaker comes out, he joins it. Looks like we're going to get a new Evolution type of way. Braun Breaker, he's the one with the family lineage, so I guess you could say he's Orton, but I think he leans more to the Batista type towards me. So who is that Orton going into it? I think Ethan Page would be a good spot. I think we're going to do like what we did when Judgment Day was being formed for the most part, right? We have Edge versus AJ Styles, then Damian Priest comes out to help. And then we have the other next match, and then Damian Priest can't help. Oh, now here comes Rhea Ripley. I would like to see a woman. You would assume it would be Becky Lynch, now that she's heel as well. But I don't know, maybe Seth and Becky just don't want to work together on screen because it didn't work last time. But I think as heels, it could work better than them as baby faces. But I don't know who else on the female side could join that group. That would be also very intriguing as well. Nothing's really coming to mind right now. But I think Ethan Page could be a good fourth member to serve as that Randy Orton role, as the pretty boy, if you will, because that's what Randy Orton's role was. And then maybe add a couple other people there in it as well. Maybe have an actual tag team, because Paul Heyman is the Ric Flair of the group, but Ric Flair at least fought a little bit when the Evolution was around. And now, Paul can serve as the manager, Dangerous Alliance. I wasn't around during that. To me, Evolution just seems more of the kinship, the attachment to me for it that I can like connect to a little bit when it comes to this storyline. But I know Paul Heyman had the Dangerous Alliance. Maybe we are doing that. We just had a bunch of members to it. But I think one, maybe two, and maybe overall 3 more members. Maybe mix up a woman and two guys within it, and there we go. But I did really like the angle within it. But I would assume at Backlash it is Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and Roman Reigns, where then again and Ethan Page comes in to help. Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins win, and then presumably Roman Reigns then goes off to Cancun or somewhere, because I would love to see Roman around a lot more. I just don't see it happening. But sure, there was only 3 matches on this episode of Raw for the 3 hours. It was literally like 1 match per hour. But all of them were good. I think the tag match was really good. I like the post-match angle with Becky Lynch. I think Io Sky versus Stephanie Bakir was amazing. It was definitely the best match of Monday Night Raw. And then Penta and Dominic was fine for what it was. But, it wasn't going to be, a proper match. for the most part. And I think all the angles did really good. I mean, Gunther coming out to attack the commentators. I wonder where that's going to lead to, because they made a point to make it go, hey, we have to do our jobs. And now the commentators are going to be much more, engrossed within the stories moving forward. Like, they didn't just do that just to do that to get heat on Gunther. I would assume Gunther gets suspended. I don't know if Pat's leaving yet for college football. It seems a little bit early for that. But it would be interesting to see moving forward. Does Wade Barrett come out of retirement to get into the ring? Are we doing Gunther versus Pat McAfee? Is this how Goldberg comes into play? I don't know, but I am intrigued to see where we're moving past it. And I'm glad that we are setting up programs for Gunther that doesn't involve a title. I don't want him to be in that realm that, Charlotte was in. I love the stat that for 80% of his career in WWE, he has held a belt. But, you really see who you are as a superstar when you don't have the belt and you can still draw that money in. I like him being a gold standard. I like him having the gold. But I think now we are in a really fun opportunity to see what we can do with him now that he is not champion. But yeah, great episode of Raw. Makes me really intrigued. It was a good fresh start. Like, it really felt like, okay, reset. Now here we go. Now we're going to do what we really want to do, because yes, WrestleMania was a little clunky at times, even though I still enjoyed it. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made it this far within the review. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.